Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to see you all here. It's an honor and a privilege to have been a part of this program. Being a Yonkers native and having had attended Yonkers public school system for my entire life, I'll forever have a very soft spot for the students here, those who thrive, and probably more so those who struggle. The cadet program here in Yonkers, it dates back many, many decades. And it's gone through many different changes over the course of those decades. And this year, like past cadet programs, has undergone a bit of a transition. Most of you don't know exactly what most of the cadets went through to become part of this program. Once it was advertised that we were going to start the program again, we had more than 70 applicants. And of those 70 applicants, the 12 very special students who sit in front of you now were selected for a variety of different reasons. From the application process to the interview, each participant showcased their ability to be punctual, diligent, engaged, and motivated. They epitomized what we wanted to see for Yonkers Youth Cadets. They displayed superior learning abilities as they quickly picked up things like you just saw: drill and ceremony, emergency first aid, ethics, fingerprinting, emotional, mental health and wellness, Yonkers police history, police tactics and customs, as well as the very important idea behind becoming and staying vigilant in today's society. In order to complete the session, each participant successfully completed written and physical fitness exams, much like that of what's required for entry-level police personnel. This was no small feat, and it took a lot of hard work and effort. There were times where some of them were stronger than others. Thankfully, in those times, we saw examples of teamwork and encouragement. There were times where some felt forced to challenge one another. In those times, we saw respect and humility. Then there were times where we as the instructor thought it was our duty to challenge them as a collective. And in those times, we saw resilience and fortitude. Although this program was intended to engage students with an interest in public service, our ultimate and undeniable goal was to guide and create intelligent, humble, and thoughtful leaders of tomorrow. I can proudly say that this group is a promising representation of just that. Despite completing this program during the COVID-19 pandemic and being placed in some very challenging positions, these cadets have been adaptable, which is honestly more than we could say for some adults. But most impressively, outside of the fact that they've had to deal with schedule changes, time changes, and often changes of location, this group, as a collective, has maintained a group average of 82% academically. This is a promotional ceremony where we have every intention on promoting these cadet recruits to the position of full-time cadets. However, we also plan on honoring them and giving them their flowers while they're here. Officer Beth.
Good afternoon, parents, staff, distinguished guests. My name is Officer Best. I've been a member of Community Affairs Division of the Yonkers Police Department. I've been officer now for 7 years, and I've also served in the U.S. military and U.S. Army for 8 years. Today marks the end of a 6-month training course that myself, along with my partner, Officer Hogue, set forth to devise not only to enhance the Yonkers Police Cadet program, but also to incorporate training, discipline, and motivation to the young adults who we honor today. With the help and joint efforts of the Yonkers Police Department and members of service in the U.S. Armed Forces, we have provided classes and instruction for from members of service within our department who also, like myself, have served in the U.S. Armed Forces and are still serving as members of the U.S. Armed Forces in conjunction with being a police officer. I'm proud to say that throughout this class, we have assisted in providing 2 of our cadets with step-by-step guidance into securing their future as future members of the U.S. Armed Forces. So at this time, I'd like Senior Cadet Derek DeJesus and Cadet Recruit Alessia Scipione to please stand and be recognized for your enlistments into the U.S. Army, and thank you for your future service. Take seats. Moving forward, the cadet recruits who will momentarily be certified Yonkers Police Department Youth Cadets will be called upon throughout the years to provide service and assist in enhancing the community we serve in the city of Yonkers. We will continue to monitor their progress in school, and we will have further relationships with you as parents and offer our services as instructors and officers if they ever need our help when things may get rough. The goal is not to prepare these young adults for volunteer work only, but also to prepare them for life. And so we have taken our training much further than expected. Ladies and gentlemen, please know that myself and Officer Hogue, when we say that we truly care about, now, pardon me for calling them kids, but we'll put our full effort into providing necessary assistance that will support them in securing a bright future, and we really, really mean it. This program has introduced us to 12 individuals who we've grown to love over this 6 months, but we're adamant about letting them know we're involved moving forward. When things get rocky, you guys are more than welcome to call us if things get shaky in school. We are going to schools, we're reading transcripts, we're looking at their report cards. This is an endeavor that we plan on staying with them with until they're at least the age to take the Yonkers Police exam, and hopefully they'll transition to be full-time officers in the Yonkers Police Department. I assure you today may be the end of your training, but it's the beginning of a productive and very bright future. At this time, I would like to introduce a man that shares the same vision, providing the city of Yonkers opportunities for the youth to secure a brighter future. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commissioner of the City of Yonkers Police Department, Commissioner Mueller.
Thank you, Officer Bess, and thank you, Officer Hogue. For the parents, you have two of the best officers we have here. This is the next step of our job, the next future. But what we're looking at today is our cadets that are the real future, that aren't on the job yet, and that we really, really hope that they can join us. And we would love to have you, because this is, let me start by asking a question. So of the group, I'm not going to ask you to come up and speak, because I don't know if you're comfortable with that yet. I know I wouldn't be if I was in your shoes. It does get easier with time. How many cadets in the room have family members, parents, just parents that are police officers? How many parents in the room have family members that are police officers? And that is why we're here, because we have been able to connect ourselves with a whole new group of people, members of the Yonkers community that are here, our cadets and the parents of the cadets that never had any connection with policing or law enforcement in the city of Yonkers. And this is the first way that the Yonkers Police Department wants to reach out. We want you. We want your parents to be part of our family. We want you guys to be part of our family. You come from Yonkers. You represent the very best. As the officer said, you are a member of, they selected you out of 70 potential applicants. So even before you were able to show all the great things that you could do, you're shown, because they picked you right away without even knowing a whole lot. And we're hearing about the grade point average of the 83%, which I love. And so these are all wonderful things. So that's really what this is all about. And this is what the mayor's vision is. This is what the vision is of Councilwoman Diaz, Councilman Rubo, and Councilwoman Corazon-Pineda, to have our police department look like more of our residents of Yonkers. And I could not be more proud. The future is very, very bright. So the one thing I want to do is ask another question, and again, you just raise your hands, you don't have to say yes or no. How many cadets in the room feel as though, before they got into this program and now, was policing what you thought it was? How many people raised their hand? Was it exactly what you thought it was? One? That's it. One out of how many? 12. 1 out of 12. And I think that's also the value for us, because as much as we want to bring you into our hearts and bring you into our family so you can go out and serve the residents of Yonkers, there's a lack of understanding about what police do. And so what I would ask you to do going forward is, now if you're looking at this screen and you're seeing all the different activities that the cadets have done They have a better understanding about what policing is today in 2021. And I would ask all of the cadets to be ambassadors for everybody, that if there's someone, a kid in school you're next to, a neighbor or a friend or anything, explain different things if you happen to know what they are, because that's important too. We need to, as I say, one of my friends, a dear friend of mine who's come to be very near and dear to my heart, Donnell McCall's here, said, you know, you have great community programs. It's not that, you got a branding problem. So you guys are part of that brand that can go out and share all the great things that the Yonkers Police Department does in the right way. Because you're not coming out to be police officers to be enforcers. You're coming out to be guardians and protectors. You're not coming out to arrest people. You're coming out to solve problems. Because that's what we do one way or the other. We go and we try to solve problems as best we can. And that is the nature of the work we do. And I'm thrilled to hear from Officer Best that this journey does not end. This is just beginning, because we are going to approach you with internships. You can work with us in the summer. We would love to have you. What we've done with other past cadets, they've gone on to work in the Westchester County Department of Public Safety as summer specials. They work at Playland, they work at Sprain Ridge, Tibbetts, all these different places, and it does give you just another level of what to expect as a police officer. So this is something that I'm committed to you. I know that Officer Best and Officer Hogue are committed to you. I know Deputy Chief Monaco is committed to you. Our council here and the mayor, we're all committed to you. So do me one promise, continue to do the great work you're doing, work really hard in school, carry yourself with dignity, always have an eye on that this is the future. There is nothing that would make me happier than to see each and every one of you walk across the stage where we can pin a Yonkers Police shield on you. Because I can tell you, you're never going to be super wealthy by doing it, but you're going to have a very, very rich life. Thank you, and God bless. Okay, so repeat after me. I state your name. You have to state your names. Yeah, your name. Do by solemnly swear. That I will uphold the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the State of New York. The Charter of the City of Yonkers. For the position of. So help me God. Congratulations.
Astor Fernandez is our platoon leader. So we have 4 different squads throughout the entire session, and we had one person who led all the squads. Astor maintained this position the entire time. Outside of 1 week where he was challenged, and the person who challenged him succeeded, he challenged her again the next week and got his spot back. But he's an amazing example of what you want our teenagers to be. Even when he was challenged and he was on the verge of losing, he was supporting her. He was cheering her on. I never seen anything like it. So we selected Astor, as did his peers, to represent the group tonight and give a speech. Astor.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, parents, families, cadets. Congratulations, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing all right. First of all, I would like to thank Officer Best and Officer Hogue for giving me the opportunity to be part of the Yonkers Police Cadets program. Secondly, I would like to thank each of my peers because we made it through, we pushed through the hard times, we grew as a family, and we support each other's back. Many of us thought that we couldn't make it, but we always exceed the expectations, as the motto states. We grew as a family, we had each other's back, and we overcame that. We motivated each other, we helped each other, and we helped those weaknesses those were our strengths. I thought I had everything under control when I came to this program. You can ask Officer Hogue, you can ask Officer Best. He used to call me, look at this man, he's a rock. Because I used to do every physical exam for me was easy. I can't physically prepare, but I learned a big life lesson. If you can't control your mind, you can't control yourself. Even though you are physically prepared, if you can't control your mind, you will never have control of yourself. And this is why I'm so thankful, because of Officer Best and Officer Holt. They created this mentality where every time that I had to go out there in the field and I had to train, I had to go home and sleep, and I didn't have no energy because I have to get everything out there in the field. They created this mentality where the failure does not exist. There's no such thing as I fail. You fail when you give up. And this is why, cadets, congratulations. You are officially graduated cadets of the program of 2021. Thank you. Buenas tardes, familias, buenas tardes, padres, todos los amigos que nos acompañaron. Yo soy el cadete Aster, platoon leader de la clase 2021. Yo le estaba diciendo ahorita a todos los que están aquí, primero que todo, gracias por venir a este día muy especial. Se los aprecio, que es un día muy especial para nosotros y se tomaron el tiempo. En el día de hoy, a mucha gente pueden llamarle un uniforme, le pueden llamar algo de tela. Pero yo vengo aquí con mucho orgullo y hablando en frente de todo el mundo que yo estoy cargando este uniforme con orgullo porque yo sé cuánto me costó y no soy el único que pienso lo mismo. Todos los cadetes que están aquí no saben cuánto ha costado solo para tener este uniforme y sentarte aquí hoy mismo y hablar donde yo estoy hoy mismo. Fueron días donde yo llegué a mi casa cansado, diciéndole a mi mamá, también llorando. Fueron días donde yo también no comía, días donde salía del trabajo o de la escuela directamente a entrenar, días donde yo entrenaba día y noche. Mi mamá sabe que yo hasta me iba hasta las 4 de la mañana solo para entrenar. Así que hoy les puedo decir hoy en día, padres, familiares, amigos que atendieron, que estos muchachos, estos cadetes son el futuro de Yonkers y se tienen que sentir orgullosos porque este uniforme que se están poniendo hoy en día le costaron a ustedes, los cadetes, y a ustedes padres. Siéntanse orgullosos que este es su día. Felicitaciones, cadetes del 2021.
Thank you, Aster. Aster, I ask that you remain standing. And I ask that Jayla Leonardo also stand. Aster and Jayla are the two recipients of our Physical Fitness Award for the class of 2021. Both students came into the program in amazing shape physically. However, despite the fact that they may have been leaps and bounds beyond other people, they continue to push themselves. Both of them has served as counsel and coaches to the people who struggled. We honor you, respect you, and thank you for your sacrifices during the program. We now ask that Diana Martinez and Jayla Anderson rise. Diana and Jayla are the recipients of our Courage Award. Both students, for their own personal, very different reasons, have been most courageous during this session. Jayla, being the youngest student in the program, has always charged headfirst, where everybody else may have been a little more mature and a little more understanding of what was happening. She never quit. Diana, being one of the smallest, never ever gave up. We respect you and we honor your sacrifice during the session. The next award was a surprise award. We decided to have it after we were doing some thorough examining of some of the students' transcripts. And although everyone here performed above average, like I said, we have about an 83% GPA for the group. One student, Jayla Leonardo, please stand. Jayla is a student at Lincoln High School. Jayla is 5th in her class of 186 students. Jayla maintains an average of 95% and is on the volleyball team. Jayla is always early, has no problem leaving late, and she has been a stellar cadet. Thank you, Jayla. At this time, we'd like to finally give you all your graduation certificates. Jose Martinez. Hannah Simos. It's okay. Jayla Leonardo. Jamie Concha. Jamie. Diana Martinez. Yes. Never quit. Diana, here, this is yours too. That's yours too. Raymond Hernandez. Congratulations. Welcome.
If you want, you can take your mask off for the picture if you want, okay?
Elsie DeJankwich. Congratulations.
Come on, Mom, you gotta get in the picture.
Jayla Anderson. Congratulations. Azrith Santos. Congratulations. Saul Hernandez. Congratulations. Aster Fernandez. Congratulations. And last but not least, I'd like to say something about this student because I mentioned her and she remained nameless earlier, but it's important that I mention her because she was one of the only students willing to challenge Aster. He's a physical fitness beast. She challenged him and she did beat him at one point, so I'm proud of you, girl. Alicia Scipione.
All right, last but not least, we'd like to present a promotion to one of our senior cadets who's been in the program for quite some years. Throughout the pandemic, I don't want to say we lost quite a few cadets, but a great number of the cadets aged out and started college last year. Naturally, they've outgrown the program to an extent. The good thing is, from our prior cadet program, we were able to put a significant amount of them into our Be the Change program, and they've all taken the test. So we're anxiously waiting for their scores. That's why we do it, to groom them from a young age. The youngest we have is 14 years old. And hopefully by the time they are done with high school and we've been on their backs about their academics and got them into a good college, that they can cycle back around and take the exam and end up taking our place and, you know, helping the city thrive. I think at a certain point in time, you get to a certain age, you realize it's not about you, it's the seeds you pass down. As someone with his own kids, I'm proud of them same way I would be my own children. And these faces of these kids in the city, they don't get old. And they're always knocking at they're always knocking at your door. So we owe it to them to pat them on the back when it's necessary, to encourage them when it's most needed. It costs you nothing to encourage a child, nothing at all. So I would like to acknowledge Cadet Derek DeJesus, who has diligently, oftentimes been a pain in the behind, right? But in a good way, because throughout this pandemic, he would always text myself and Officer Hope, "You guys got anything going on today? You need some help?" "No, Derek, there's nothing going on. It's a lockdown, Derek. What can we do?" Constantly. The moment that we got the program started up, literally every week, he wanted to be there to just help. And because of that, we're promoting him to Cadet Sergeant. Please rise.
So we're going to conclude here. We're going to conclude the way we conclude our weekly meetings, and don't be frightened or anything. It just seems appropriate. When we first started the program, and telling the cadets a little bit about myself and some of my shortcomings as a teenager, I told them a story about my grandfather. And my grandfather, when I was a good student, I thought I was a good student, and I would bring him a report card, and my report card had like all A's, but then there was the elective side where it would say like M-E, I-N-C-E-E, but I didn't care about that. I had the A's. He said, "What does M-E mean?" And back then, I don't know how old everyone else is, but back then, M-E was a teacher's way of saying you met the expectation. And then he went down to the key at the bottom, and he saw that E-E meant exceeding the expectation, of which I had no EEs, right? He didn't care about the A's anymore. He just said, "You're a hoe, you exceed the expectation, young lady," right? So I'll never forget that. It was really important to me, and I wanted to make sure that if I could leave them with anything, I left them with that. And so, as we conclude, cadets, what do we do? Exceed expectations. Congratulations.
This will be extremely brief. I just want to say this program almost didn't happen with COVID and a lot of different changes in the department. I wanted to recognize and acknowledge our Sergeant Laura Yakubowski. Please stand, please. Officer Hogan and I are fairly new to the unit in community affairs. It's a blessing, it's truly a blessing for us. But she instilled in us a lot of faith to get this program off the ground and try to revamp it, along with the help of the commissioner, who I can't say enough when it comes to community. It's important that the parents know that in this department, within this department, I've worked for another department and even in the military, it's very rare that you find faculty in upper echelon who have a very sincere soft spot for the community work. Sometimes it's just a job, But for us, for me, I shouldn't get paid to do this, but we have the right people, we have the right leadership, and I hope that we have the community support. The parents, thank you so much, and I mean this wholeheartedly, for raising some stellar children. You deserve a round of applause as well. Thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate you. One last round of applause for our newly appointed cadets.